Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it for returning my call. My name is Ron Hurd. I'm with We All Be News, and I was just trying to get some facts straight before I do anything about the Kody Ingham matter, because I've been hearing some things online. I had talked to Sheriff Nutt earlier, and I just want to get your take on it if it's possible.
What take are you asking for?
Kody Ingham.
Uh-huh.
I was just ask you, did you prepare the body for Kody for the funeral?
I did not.
Who prepared the body?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Okay, I was asking that because I know that they found him hanging from a tree, and I know there's been a lot of speculation on the internet about what happened to him. And the reason why I called you was to see if you noticed anything strange about the condition of the body or whatnot, if there was anything out of the ordinary that you heard about.
I don't. I do know that. I read on the internet some things that were posted by a revolution group, and I know that I think people need to give the family some respect, and I think they need to give the family some time before they start troubling the family with all kinds of schmutt crap that they decide to put on the internet.
Yes, sir.
And if the family had questions, I think they'd be talking to the sheriff's department. And I think if the family had any questions about what happened, I think the sheriff's department would probably let you know they're talking to the family about that. So, other than that, I have no comment. I mean, I think that people are being very disrespectful in what they're doing.
So you know the concern. I mean, you can understand their concern. I mean, I know some people are opportunists out there, but you do understand their concern as it relates to this case. Do you have some type of understanding why they are interested in this case?
I completely understand how interesting the case is, but it's not going to be solved tomorrow or the next day if there is something that happened. And so do you not think if it was your son, you'd like to have a little bit of time to deal with losing your son rather than having to deal with this crap that people are trying to spread?
Yes, sir. That's why I was trying to talk to people. I want to make sure I talk to people because I was reading all types of contradicting stories.
Well, but this is going on the internet, and if you're going to write something, it's going to go on the internet or a newspaper too, man. And you think the family doesn't read that? His sister is my daughter's age, is a very good friend of my daughter. And this is hurtful. It's hurtful to my daughter. My daughter cried when she read that article on Facebook. It's disgusting what people say and do. And it would be disgusting if that happened to him. I agree completely.
Right.
I would be the first one to help whoever ever needed help prosecuting whoever needed to be prosecuted.
Yes, sir. And
I want you to understand that right off the bat. But I find it very disrespectful that people are doing this to his family right now.
I mean, I definitely feel you on that. I had lost an uncle 2 years ago to suicide, and he left a note. And people still are conflicted about that. But I just think people are concerned. I mean, I totally respect the family privacy and their grieving process. I could totally relate. I think anybody who's a human being can relate to the family needed time and space to grieve.
Obviously not if they're putting it on Facebook.
My thing is I just want to make sure the right information will come out because I was concerned about the contradictory information out there.
I hope it does too. If something's wrong, I hope the right information comes out. And I totally understand that. I totally agree with it. And if there was anything that I saw that I thought was wrong, I would have already talked to the sheriff's department about it. I got the body from another funeral home because the family felt like I was gonna deal with them better and treat them better. So I went and picked him up from another funeral home. And so, I mean, you may, at some point, whoever prepped him at that other funeral home may be ready to answer some questions. I mean, I don't know what questions they would answer. The boy went to the medical examiner's office. I would imagine that would be the person you need to talk to. They're going to be the ones that are going to have the answers. The sheriff isn't going to be able to investigate and see if somebody did something necessarily. I think I think it's just kind of one of those deals that they need to talk to the source of who is going to be the one that determines his cause of death. The sheriff is going to be able to look at the scene and tell you things. Absolutely. And so he probably would be able to give you an answer. I'm sure you already got an answer from him.
Yes, sir. He gave me an answer. He was very transparent and he's like a very honest man and a forthright man. So I appreciate that. He was very candid. and very professional at the same time.
Very good.
Do you remember the name of the funeral home you got the body from? You retrieved the body from?
It was Carroll-Lehr Funeral Home.
Carroll-Lehr?
Mm-hmm.
How you spell the last name?
L-E-H-R.
L-E-H-R. And what's your name, sir, and your position?
I own Hannigan Smith Funeral Home.
Are you Hannigan Smith?
I'm not Hannigan or Smith, but I own Hannigan and Smith Funeral Home. Yes, sir.
And what's your name?
I'm not going to give you my name if you're going to use it for any kind of publication.
Okay, I respect that. I just want to make sure I just got, talk to somebody on the ground because I was looking at the stuff that was online, and a lot of stuff seemed to contradict each other. So I thank you for this sharing what you shared with me. And I hope
I hate this for the family.
Yeah, I hate this for anybody. I mean, but I'm going to ask you this, too. I mean, do you deal with a lot of hanging deaths in your funeral home? Do you prepare a lot of bodies that were found hanging?
I've done several, yes.
Yeah, okay. So, so. But this is unusual, right? When you say this is out of the ordinary for hanging to happen, hanging death or suicide, hanging by suicide?
No.
Okay.
No. And there are some things there are some things out there that the family knows that we have talked to the family about. As I said, my daughter's very good friends with the family. My wife and I work at the funeral home together. And look, I am very, very sensitive about this subject because of the fact that I'm here to deal with the family and help the family get through things. I'm also disgusted as an individual because racism or any thought of racism is something that just drives me nuts, makes me absolutely sick. Okay, but it made me ill, sick to my stomach when the Trayvon Martin thing came out because that's wrong. The people need to lead to if that was not a race issue, and people try and make race issues out of things that don't need to be made that way, and they're attacking they're saying it's a white people. It was a Hispanic man that did it. And they're attacking the Caucasian race for something they had nothing to do with. I'm sick to my stomach over that thing in the first place.
But do you understand why people might be concerned about the Trayvon Martin or George Zimmerman verdict, and then the hell this young? If
I have a kid walking through my neighborhood after dark with a hood up, I'm gonna ask him what the hell he's doing, and if he comes at me, I'm gonna shoot him too. I don't care who he is. You have the right to do that. If somebody is threatening you, and he was beating him up, I mean, what do you want somebody to do?
Well, who initiated the engagement, though? Zimmerman engaged Trayvon, from my understanding, not Trayvon engaged Zimmerman.
Okay. If you had someone walking through your neighborhood, would you engage them? If you had children in your house and there was a man walking through your neighborhood, would you ask him what he's doing? Why he's in your neighborhood walking at dark through your neighborhood?
If I wasn't familiar with the man, if I was familiar with him, it would be some concern. Like if I didn't see him around the neighborhood on a consistent basis, there may be some concern raised. But I won't go. If I'm a neighborhood watch, I wouldn't be going around trying to act like I'm a cop when I'm not a cop. I'm a neighborhood watch. I'm watching out for things.
And granted, I'll give you that. I mean, too many people get a badge and think they deserve it.
Right. Yeah. But I understand your concern, man. It's not a predators out here. It's not a evil, deviant people out here. I agree with that.
Well, and look, I know there's still racism. I know there's still problems with it. I've got a bad problem with it. One of my best friends is a Jew, and his daughter gets harassed. Has been harassed before about different things. So it happens. I know it happens. I dated black girls. I got harassed by black guys for dating black girls. So it happens everywhere. It's not just racism towards one race or another. It's all over, and we all need to just realize God put us on this earth for a reason, and it's not to hate one another. And God has a plan for every one of us, and we need to settle on that. And so many people need to stop trying. I believe if we could just stop all of this, that people would get along. That people would be able to get along with one another. But you do have rednecks. You have idiot rednecks. And I hate them just as much as the Knicks guy does. And I'll tell them the same thing. I correct people when they use the N-word. I say stuff. My children don't hear that word. They have never heard that word out of my mouth. And they will never hear that word in my home. I have kicked people out of my house for using that word. It won't happen. But if we continue pushing the issue, I believe it's going to get better for people just to try and love one another. I think that if we take the race thing out of it and put God back in it, I think it's going to be a better situation. And I think the only person that can make this right is God.
Mm-hmm. So, I think actually a lot of people agree with what you're saying out there. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like that. But, you know, do you understand, though, like with Kody, like for him, the verdict came out the Saturday and then to find his body hanging from a tree on Sunday, how they may raise some concerns to people, red flags?
Anytime anyone dies when no one is there, it should raise a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whether he shot himself, whether he took pills and died that way, or whether he hung himself. Anytime anyone dies, the red flag is raised, and they go to the medical examiner office, and there's an investigation. And there's an investigation going on by the sheriff's department. There's an investigation going on by the medical examiner. And I believe everybody on the outside needs to let that investigation happen and stay out of it until they come out with something. That's my opinion.
Yes, sir.
They're the professionals. They're the ones that are doing this. They're the ones that's what we pay them for. That's what we vote them in office for. That's what we hire them for, and that's what we need to let happen. And all these people that want to write schmut and crap on the internet about what they think might have happened, and then what happens is, did you read the comments below that article?
Yeah, I read.
Don't trust the white girl. Don't trust the white girl. White girls will betray you. Do you see what's happening? They're making it a race issue. And it doesn't have to be that way, man.
Mm-hmm.
There is more black-on-black crime in this world than there is white-on-black crime. But nobody tends to worry about that, do they?
Well, I beg to differ with you on that one, brother, because the fact of the matter is there's no such thing as a black-on-black crime or white-on-white crime. Crime is crime. Crime is produced by circumstances. Like a lot of times people kill where they live. People kill where they live. Lack of jobs, lack of education, lack of access causes crime.
Sure.
So it's not black-on-black crime. To say it's black-on-black crime is to blame black folks for everything that happens to them in a certain situation, which is not true. You also said that racism is real. And racism, you don't understand.
The article that came out on Facebook was making it a hate crime, was making it a white-on-black crime, because they mentioned it's a white boyfriend that lynched the brother, and that's what it said, word for word, in that article. Now, does that make it a white-on-black crime? Yes, it does.
I mean, that's, I'll say we put labels like that, like black-on-black crime or white-on-black crime, it divides and conquers us. I agree with you. We should look at a mother lost a son. I believe that's her firstborn son. And I'm a firstborn son, and I can relate to that. I can relate to her, loving her son, being supportive of her son. I come from a single-parent household. He came from a single-parent household. He's like, he's a strong mom in his life. I have a strong mom in my life. So I can relate to that from a human point of view. But like you said, when you put race in a lot of things, we divide us when we should be coming together.
Absolutely.
Wrong is wrong, right is right, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And
I don't think that they should investigate anything unless they feel like it is a crime. And every time trust me, we deal with a lot of crime here. We deal with a lot of people that die at their house without anybody there. And it doesn't matter if it's a 98-year-old man that died in his house. If nobody's there, he's going to the medical examiner's office. They are going to investigate it. So they are going to do their job, and people just need to let them do their job.
Well, actually, you are an expert in preparing bodies. Have you had some suspicious suicide rulings? Like, have you seen bodies and they said it was a suicide, it raised red flags, and you say, I don't know if this was a suicide. This may have been foul play. Have you ever prepared a body or bodies of people that were?
I was actually a coroner for about 12 years, and there was one time I actually have been in a suit where I went to a nursing home and found a woman, and they actually took the medical license away from two people in that situation because of me testifying that she didn't die how they said she died. They exhumed her body after that, and she died of asphyxiation. So absolutely, there are times when people cover things up, and I can recognize those things. I've been in this business over 20 years, man, and I can see when something's wrong. I did not prepare Kody. I did dress Kody. I did Kody's makeup, and I put him in the casket. I am not going to comment one way or the other whether I think something happened wrong or right, because I'm going to leave it up to the authorities and the officials that need to do that. I didn't see anything that made me think, well, he fought somebody or whatever else, or I would have said something to the sheriff, right? But that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. So for me to tell you that I think something was or was not weird about the situation would be wrong of me, man, because I don't know.
But the fact that
I would be betraying his mother if I said, no, man, there was nothing wrong with him, and then it comes out later and says that something did happen to him, then it's mud in my face, and I lose the trust of his mother, and I want the trust of his mother because I care about these people, man.
Yes, I mean, I know it's a small-town community, and I want to say this. I've been pretty impressed with you and the sheriff for being so, I mean, that's like y'all men of integrity. And y'all want the truth to come out. Y'all very transparent, it seems, you know. So I respect the fact that you know, talking to me about this and really, you know, making a great case. And I want to know, so I mean, like, you was able to determine that the elderly person died or something other than what was officially ruled in that particular case that you was involved in.
Now, that was in Arkansas about 15 years ago. That has nothing to do with Henderson County.
Yes, sir. So, like, I'm going to ask you this. Do you have a medical background?
We go through enough things in school that we can tell things at different times. I mean, I'm definitely not a medical examiner, but there are ways and things that you see and do and hear that you can see things. So, I mean, we don't go through the schooling we go through and learn about every blood vessel, muscle, and body part without learning something medically. No, I don't have a medical background. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. Nothing at all. So I don't know anything about what happened to Kody, other than the fact that they found him and he went to the medical examiner's office and that he came back and that we got him here and that we did a funeral for him and that we're trying to help his family get through this. And that's truly all I can do and all I can give you. I wish that I could tell you something that would change things. And trust me, I wish I could give his mom an answer. More than anything, more than giving you an answer, more than giving anybody else an answer, I wish I could give his mama and his sister an answer.
Well, I'll say this one thing about you. You might have a medical degree, but you have common sense. You have major in common sense. It sounds like you're like a very honorable guy. Let me ask you this then. I mean, what type of person was Kody? You knew the family. You know the family well. What type of person was he? So we could get that out.
I mean, I think that I didn't know Kody personally, to be honest with you. I know that Kody was a captain on the football team. I know that Kody was Mr. Athens Hornet. Kody was very popular in the community with people, with parents, with kids, with everybody. I know there were 750 people at his funeral in a town of 14,000, which is a huge freaking funeral in this town. And I know that he was respected. So I mean, that's all I know about Kody. A good, smiling kid, very respectful and helpful with everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this loss will be felt. I know a lot of people are in shock, like you said. There's a lot of people come to a person's funeral in a town like of that size. So to me, I guess people are so concerned. I mean, he was a very handsome guy, very charismatic, it seems, very athletic. He also was a bull rider, correct? Was he a bull rider? When I read,
he was.
Was he pretty good? Did you know how?
I don't know anything about that. I never heard anything about that deal.
Okay. So but thank you for all the stuff you have shared with us in this interview. I appreciate it. And I wish the best for everybody. You have a great day, sir.
You too.
Thank you.